Hello. So thank you very much for joining me today for one more and quick webinar session about our hottest Teamhood updates. And last time we talked about how you can integrate Teamhood with your Outlook calendar. And today I want to continue the topic of automation and just tell you more about what you can achieve with our Zapier integration this time. But before getting into that, as always, I want to quickly introduce myself to everyone who's newly joined. Hello, my name is Deimante. I'm your Teamhood coach, and my job is to make sure that our users are taking advantage of all the capabilities Teamhood has to offer. So remember, at the end of our session, I'm always saving a little bit of time for a quick Q&A. So if you have any questions or comments or anything else that you want to share with me after the session, just leave it in the Q&A box. And yeah, we'll cover it then. In the meantime, we can get started, talk about Zapier integration. And I want to begin this session firstly by explaining to you how Zapier integration has already contributed to our users' ability to save time and automate a lot of processes that would in other ways require manual attention and input. So to those who don't know, Zapier, it's a tool which helps you create integrations or so-called Zaps among two or more different tools. And currently, Zapier supports around 5,000 different tools and combinations between them. So it means that you can set certain actions in one tool as a trigger for the automation, and then create a response in another tool as a consequence of that action. So since my goal is and has always been to just help you guys optimize your inner processes, maybe my examples for potential automation here will inspire you to try this integration out and also to see if you can automate your current processes and save time, which you can then use to be more productive or efficient in your project work, or just take a little break on whichever you prefer. So yeah, enough of the theory though. Let's get visual. And let's have a look at 3 use cases that I promised for you today. So first of all, very quickly, just a bit of introduction to how everything works with Zapier itself. So to set up this integration, you will need to create an account on their page. And when doing that, just don't forget that you will also need to synchronize the tools you want to set the automations for. So when you're going to be setting up a connection with your Teamhood account, for example, you will need to indicate 2 things. So I just want to quickly remind you about that. First of all, you will have to indicate your Teamhood account name, which you can find over here in the link. It's everythingbefore.teamhood.com. So my account name in this example is demo. And another thing that you will have to indicate is the API key that can be found in your Teamhood account if you go to your profile, integrations, Zapier, and there we have it, API key. We can just copy it and then set up the connection. I already have it set up, so I'm not going to demonstrate that, but just wanted to let you know where to find it in case you need it. So yeah, we can start with my first use case example. So this is going to be something our team is using here at Teamhood every day. So I'm pretty sure that it will be useful for you guys as well. We're going to create an automation, a Zap that will allow new support tickets once they land into my support board to automatically inform me in my Slack channel about this incoming support ticket so that I don't have to refresh it again and again. So how to set it up? Let's just go to my Zapier, and what you want to do here is click Create, New Zap. Let's just wait. I hope my internet is going to be okay, but it seems everything is fine. All right. So first of all, what we have to do is set up a trigger. So trigger is an event that starts your Zap. Our event is going to start in Teamhood. So I'm syncing my Teamhood account. And now I'm choosing the event. This time it's create item. I click continue, and then I'm going to choose my Teamhood account. I have multiple, but it's likely that you will just have one. So I'm choosing the one that is relevant for me for this day. And then we continue. Now what I'm going to do is just find the location. So I'm just going to choose webinar workspace and select the board that is support. I'm going to continue, and this is a Zapier testing your trigger. Now, don't be afraid if you notice that this sign that we couldn't find an item. It just means that during the testing period, you haven't created a new item in your Teamhood board. So you can just skip this test and don't worry, it works. I tried it multiple times, so we can move on. So once we have the trigger, we can move to the action. And action for me is Slack, my Slack channel. So previously, before setting up this automation, what I did is I created not only the board in my Teamhood account, but I also created a Slack channel called Webinar Support, where I want those notifications to land. So I'm going to choose Slack as my tool, and I'm going to choose event right now. So it's going to be send a channel message. We continue. This is, again, a part where you're going to sync your Slack account with your Zapier account. And let's now pick a channel. So my channel is webinar support. And I can customize the message that I want to receive. So I can create a text. I can write new support ticket. And I can add some custom information like item title to see what this ticket is about immediately. And also, I like to add the URL to be able to go to item details immediately, not having to open the support board separately. And now there are other options which you can customize or not, prefer, totally up to you. I, again, want to customize the bot name instead of Zapier. I want to add Teamhood. And I'm going to, instead of bot icon being like the bright orange Zap, I'm going to copy my Teamhood logo just to make it more, according to my brand and more home feel like. So I have everything set. I can continue. And it's now going to test the action as it did previously. Once the action is tested, you will notice immediately that in this channel, I am getting just this test version, new support ticket, and it gives me the title and the URL. Don't click on the test URL. It will take you nowhere. It's just, showing you that the automation works. Once everything is done, we can publish the Zap. Don't forget to publish it or else it will not work. So once it's published, we can also name it in order for it not to get lost. So we can call it support ticket, Slack channel message. That's it. We have it running. I'll just check if it is on. And we can now start testing. So let's create a new support ticket. Let's just assume that it's going to land from one of my forms. I will just call it ticket number 77. And yeah, I have it created. Let's see if I get notified in my Slack channel. And I do. I get immediately a notification, new support ticket title, and I can open item details to check out what this ticket is about. I can assign people, start working on it immediately. So just helping me to save some time and immediately be notified about the incoming support tickets or other types of requests that you might get. So now we already know how to create a connection between Teamhood and Slack. But let's try reversing the pattern and import something to Teamhood automatically once it's updated in some other tool. So for my next example, I actually chose Google Sheets, as I do know that there are still so many project managers out there and companies in general that are still using Excel spreadsheets to manage their tasks, workload to some extent, or other things. And that's okay. Perhaps this automation will help you transition to different processes, but it's also perfectly fine if you want to keep using your Excel sheet to, for example, keep notes on the project update meetings. So right now, just let's imagine that's a completely different scenario. I'm a project manager working on a project medication testing. I have my project board over here. It's filled with project tasks, phases, and so on. And but I'm also having weekly meetings with my team to discuss updates on this project. And during those discussions, maybe new tasks come up that I have to add to my current package. So to track the meeting minutes, I am still using my Google Sheets, as it is quite convenient for me. However, after the meeting, I have to copy paste all the thoughts and all the tasks I quickly add to my Google Sheets. I have to copy them to my Teamhood account and create new tasks for my team there as well. So over here, Zapier can help me automatically import those meeting updates to my Teamhood board. And this way, just save time by not having to copy paste everything manually. And here's how you can achieve that. So what I have is I have created a Google spreadsheet that is called Medication Testing Project, and I have a column called Meeting Minutes, where I enter all the tasks that I want to keep in mind and not forget, something that I agree upon during those meetings. And I've also prepared a place for the automated tasks to land. So I have another board, Project Meeting Minutes, and Meeting Updates row, essentially as a location for the new items to appear. So let's start creating the second Zap. We're going to start the trigger by selecting Google Sheets this time, as this is going to be our trigger. And the event itself is going to be new or updated spreadsheet row. So I'm just selecting that. It means that if I add a new row or if I update any spreadsheet row, it will trigger the response for a new item to be created in Teamhood. We continue. I'm choosing the spreadsheet. And I'm also choosing the worksheet that I'm working with. So I have sheet 1. I'm going to choose that. And also choosing the column. So as I mentioned, the column is, we have A, B, C, D columns. And the first row is usually the title for that column. So I have just one, Meeting Minutes. I'm going to select it over here. And we continue. We do some testing. And the spreadsheet was found. Everything is fine. We can move on. And now our action is going to take place in Teamhood. I'm going to select an event that would create an item. And again, choosing an account. So I'm choosing my Teamhood demo account. Just moving a little bit quicker here because I previously showed you a similar example and you probably know what to expect. So in the item title, I just want to add the original notes that are in the Meeting Minutes column. I then choose the workspace, which is again, webinar, and the board. This time it's going to be Meeting Minutes. And I'm selecting a row, Meeting Updates. The status, since it's going to be a newly created task, I want to give it a status to do. It's not yet doing, it's not yet done, it's something we still have to do. And if you want, you can also even customize such things like color, start date, due dates, however you want. We're going to do a little bit of testing. And we can publish the Zap. Now, with this kind of integration and automation, just keep in mind that it doesn't always happen immediately. So it might take a couple of minutes or even like up to 10 minutes for the information to fall into your Teamhood account. That sometimes happens with Zapier, but that's totally fine. We can try entering just like a new project task as a test to see how it looks like in our meeting minutes board in Teamhood. New project task, I have it. And currently, you will see that the testing succeeded, but the new project task is not here yet. So let's just give it a little bit of time to process and move further. In the meantime, we can also name this app. I will call it meeting minutes and Teamhood new item. It's good to, just to add names to your automations. If you want to create multiple automations, then just to keep track on what's what. And maybe there are some automations that you will want to turn off for a little bit of time, and you don't have to go to details to check. And because you will see the automation itself in the title. So I like to just do it like that. And while we're waiting, we can move forward to my last example. And in my last example, I want to show you that Zapier also has filtering capabilities. So remember in my first example where I told you about connecting Teamhood with Slack, and this way informing you automatically about incoming support tickets. So let's now say that on top of that, to my support board also lands enterprise contact requests. So for example, I have one right here, enterprise contact requests. It's not a support ticket, but it's a contact request of a different kind. And this is something that's really relevant to me specifically, as sometimes other support tickets, they can be handled by different team members and I don't have to worry about them. My involvement is not always needed. But when it comes to enterprise contact requests, that is something that I'm always personally taking care of, let's say. So naturally, I always want to be on top and I want to be super attentive and respond to them in a timely manner. It's important for me, which is why I can set up filtering and just say, Zapier, create me an automation where only the new tickets in my support board that contain a word enterprise will trigger a notification to my DMs in Slack. So here's how to build this last automation for today. We're going to create a Zap. And our trigger this time is also going to be Teamhood created item. I'm choosing my demo account once more. Very similar to the first example, actually, at least the beginning. So webinar, workspace, and for the board, again, my support board, I click continue. We can skip this testing. I already know that they're not going to find an item. And right now, we can continue. And instead of adding like a tool as Slack as your next action, in the middle, you will want to add filter. So filtering option over here on the right corner, I click filter and I create an action to only continue this automation if my item title contains a word enterprise. You can write it in capital letters or not, it doesn't matter. You can add other criteria or rules. This time I will just keep it very simple and easy for you. And we continue. And then we add another action that is already going to be our Slack. We choose an event. So this time, remember, I mentioned that I want to be informed in DMs directly because it's not something that's relevant to my other team members that might be in a webinar support channel. This is something that I'm handling personally. So I'm going to choose send direct message. I'm going to continue. And I can choose the username. So I'm just going to choose my name. Message text. I will add enterprise contact request. And I can also add some more information, just like a URL to go to item details immediately. Again, let's just give bot a nice name. Let's just call it Teamhood. And I also want to change the bot icon like I did previously, just by copying the image URL. And I can continue. I can test the action very quickly. Seems like everything is fine. I immediately see that in my Slack bot chat, I'm getting a test. So personally, I'm getting a direct message, enterprise contact request with a link to item details. Once everything is set, I can publish in my Zap. And we can also name it, or we can skip it for this time. Just make sure that it is on, and we can start testing. So let's just create a new support ticket that is going to be inquiry for enterprise plans. Just getting a new support ticket, and let's just see what kind of notifications I'm going to get to my Slack channel. So I'm getting two kinds of notifications. First of all, I'm getting a notification about the incoming new support ticket in the webinar support board. That is due to my previous Zap that I created. I kept it on, so it's running, and my team can just see that, okay, this is about enterprise plans. They can just skip it, and they know that I will be handling this. And Slackbot also in the same time informs me that I've got an enterprise contact request, and immediately takes me to the item details where I can start assigning myself to this task. I can start working on it and just, taking it from there. So yeah, those are all of my examples. Let's just very quickly get back to the second one and see whether the meeting minutes have synchronized. And yes, you can see that this new project task, the one that I created, just, updated a row in my Google spreadsheet after a meeting. And after some time, it's appearing in the location where I wanted it to, in my meeting updates row, and I can immediately start assigning other people. I can start changing the location and sending it not only like to my meeting minutes board, but already to the medication testing project and to the phase where I need it to land. So just, giving it a little bit of more order. So yeah, to quickly sum everything up, just don't be afraid to play around with the integrations that we have in place. Try to dedicate some time to just sit back and reflect and think about what kind of processes you have right now. Are there any areas that require similar manual work and can actually be automated? So you know that it's really important for us to keep changing and optimizing our daily routine, and just look for ways where technology can help us achieve needed results faster and more effectively. So why not use that? Okay, so I see that we have one question. Let's just jump to the Q&A. Oh, I see we have more, but my colleague probably has been helping me in the meantime to cover the questions that you had. All right, so we have a question from Jonathan Left. Is Zapier subscription included in Teamhood plans or requires a separate payment? So this is a great question. It's not a product of Teamhood. So Zapier is like a different tool. It just has integration with Teamhood. And Zapier itself, it has different options for paid subscription plans, but it also has a free plan that will allow you to create up to 5 Zaps as well. So just very similarly to Teamhood, you can take advantage of the free plan, but if you want to use like a more advanced version that I have right now, you can either start a trial or just have a look at the other multiple plans that they have to offer and explore. Right now, I'm using just the trial for my professional plan, and it gives me a limit of 2,000 tasks and unlimited Zap. So it's way more than the free plan, but again, it's up to you to decide whether you want to use the free plan and just have a few integrations and automation set up, or you want to take it even further and just plan more automations with a higher plan. Okay, I saw that we had one more question from Livia. Hi, Livia. Nice to see you. If the new task is entered in the spreadsheet in a newly created row in the middle, will Zapier recognize that it is a new one? So this is, let me just make sure that I understood your question correctly. So this is actually a great point. You should be wary and try to enter those tasks in like one by one by not leaving gaps and not choosing other columns. It was for me when I was trying myself this integration previously, I left a few rows blank and it didn't succeed. This automation didn't succeed just due to the fact that there were empty rows. And in Teamhood, you cannot actually create a new item without a title. So because of this reason, the item couldn't be created and the automation didn't go through. So just to make sure that, it's row after row and you provide at least a little bit of text. Otherwise, it will might not get created. And this is also, if you want to check whether your automation was successful, you can always go to the Zap history over here and click on Zap runs, and you will see like the history, what kind of Zap runs we had. Let's just go a little bit. I want to show the example where I didn't succeed because of the exact reason. So for example, it was stopped. I see that it wasn't successful. I can go to the details and see that the issue is the required field item title that is going to be appeared in Teamhood is missing. So that's why it couldn't have been created. So yeah, just keep in mind, it's better to always just track it one after one and just enter at least a little bit of text for the automation to go through. I think, yeah, that's, let's see, between 2 and 3, you enter a new one. Oh, you meant, yeah, if you meant that I create a new row, then the automation should work because when choosing the event, I chose new or updated spreadsheet row. So if I create a new row and add the title, it should definitely work. Yeah, I think those are all of the questions. I've taken a little bit more of your time, so thank you for your patience and hanging in there with me. Seems like everything else is clear for now. I hope you got a good understanding of how this integration works in general and just what value it brings to optimizing your current processes. Just, after the session, go ahead tomorrow, give it a try, see how you like it. And if you encounter some hiccups, just like I explained, or something else happens, if you want me to help you with setting up those integrations personally, you can always book a training in your Teamhood page in this learning and help section at the bottom left corner. Just click book a training and we'll connect and I will try to help you. Again, thank you all so much for spending time with me today. This section, it actually brings us to a halt for the summer, as I know that many of you will be spending some time off. So do enjoy that, and we will resume our webinar sessions after the vacation season, probably closer to autumn. I will see you then. Looking forward to that. In the meantime, thank you and bye.